Hey guys, Reganite71 here. Well, if you saw a few videos back, you'll notice that we had a bunch of rain. I had over 5.5 inches in the rain gauge. That's a lot of water. Today it's nice and sunny, everything's kind of drying out, and I'm kind of concerned that maybe some of my nutrients got washed away, so I'm going to try something new out called CalCarb. Let me bring you in and show you what this looks like. So CalCarb is basically calcium carbonate, and it's a foliar spray. Calcium and carbon, of course, are necessary for plant development. Typically, you're going to get your calcium through the soil, and carbon, of course, will enter the plant via carbon dioxide, which is necessary for photosynthesis to occur. My concern, like I said, is with all the rains and the water, perhaps some of the nutrients washed away. Of course, uneven watering is how you start to get blossom end rot. The plant is unable to take up the calcium that it needs. According to the manufacturer, which is Xtreme Gardening, they say that it's a unique form of a simple and common compound that contains both calcium and carbon. Calcium carbonate is used in agriculture throughout the world to adjust soil pH levels. This is an unusual form of calcium carbonate that's highly unstable, converting calcium oxide and carbon dioxide very rapidly when applied to foliage. This unique phenomena increases calcium availability to plants through the foliage, but more importantly, the carbon dioxide levels directly outside and inside the stomata can rise threefold, which is near optimum for photosynthesis efficiency. And if you forgot to water, or if you didn't remember to bring your houseplant in after the cold snap, they say that this can bring it out of it. The problems that might occur based on that. If you treat it with CalCarb, you might be able to rescue it. It helps in recovery by increasing photosynthesis in the foliage that's not too seriously damaged, and by raising the surface pH of damaged foliage, which deters airborne pathogens from taking advantage of the weak cellular tissue. And based on that, because it affects the pH, it may prevent white powdery mildew, and of course with the calcium, it's going to prevent blossom end rot. All we got to do is take a tablespoon and put 1 tablespoon to a gallon of water. And they recommend that you not use like compost tea or anything else with it. Just use plain chlorine-free water. Now, pardon the air conditioner running. We're in the mid-70s today. Let me show you a little trick. If you have city water and you don't have a chlorine filter, which you can get pretty cheap online, by the way, but if you don't have it, you can pick up either rainwater, or you can just take your city water and sit it in a bucket and let it sit out overnight, and you'll get rid of that chlorine. Let me show you what you can do if you don't have access to the filter. Just take a little painter's mesh here and put it over, and then what you can do is just pour your water in. Any kind of contaminants, anything like that, the mesh will get that, and you'll have filtered water that's chlorine free. Very important. Now we're just going to shake it up and then pump it up. Probably looked like the fat kid on the Goonies doing that, didn't I? Oh well. And one of the key things with this stuff, the CalCarb, is you're not going to spray the entire plant. You're just going to spray on the underside of the leaves, because that's where the exchange for carbon dioxide occurs, and it's where it'll take up the nutrients, the calcium, and they say that underneath the leaf, when you apply this, you'll increase the carbon dioxide levels by 2 to 3 times, which is optimum. So that's what we're going to do. I've got a lot of fruit coming on the tomatoes, and I don't want to get blossom end rot, so we're going to give it some calcium, some CalCarb. Here we go. Another important point is you may see some white residue on your leaves. They say that this is normal and beneficial because of the calcium in it and the powdery substance. You're going to get a little bit of that. They say that it's fine, but if it bothers you in 48 to 72 hours, you're welcome to wash it off. and it will have gotten its beneficial effects out of it. I am anxious to see how this is going to do, though. Like I told you a couple of times now, I was really worried about washing all of the nutrients away, the uneven watering that 5.5 inches of rain will bring to your garden. And with all of the fruit on, I was really worried about blossom end rot. So I think this will deal with it pretty effectively. We shall see. I was over at Grow Fresh earlier today, and I talked to Paul, the owner, and he told me, he said that, I told him I was going to do this video, and he said that he would give my viewers a 10% discount if they give him a buzz and order CalCarb from him. The only reason I bring this up is, number one, he does give me free samples to try out and show you, so I'm cool with that. But also, there's a lot of folks that live in different parts of the country that don't have access to a hydroponic or an organic store. And so, by doing this, a lot more folks can have the opportunity to use some of this stuff. So, if you're interested, I'm going to put a phone number right here where you can give him a call. His name's Paul Van Leeuwer over at Grow Fresh Organics of Fort Smith, Arkansas, and he will hook you up. 10% discount. Can't beat that with a stingy stick, right? I will tell you, this stuff is it's kind of expensive per ounce, but 1 tablespoon will go a long way and you get a lot of plants done with it. But I'm really anxious to see what this does, and I imagine with the calcium, any worries about blossom end rot after all that rain will go away here. The nice thing is, because it affects pH, it may also take care of white powdery mildew, because it affects that pH level and lowers the acidity in the soil. So, 2 birds with 1 stone, never a bad thing. Guys, this is Reaganite 71. Thank you so much for joining and subscribing. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you next time, and have a great spring.